Yeah, thank you guys for being here today. And we're in the home stretch of round one. So I'm excited and it's interesting because the vision that came through for this platform is totally above overachieving itself, but yet I am still a recovering overachiever. So I, uh, I'm excited to talk to you about what's coming next. But for right now, let's go ahead and just maybe start. I have a couple slides to share and we'll get into a meditation and maybe some chatting, and then I'll share with you where we're headed, or see what your thoughts are. Um, so the idea that I really wanted to encapsulate in this 28-day experience, and the reason why I think the next two things we do will potentially also be 28 days, but I want you guys' feedback, is because I do believe that lunar cycles are powerful, and that, we're here comes Vanessa. Not only are we powerful from moment to moment to moment to moment, but the idea of starting something and seeing something through as an individual and as a group through a whole lunar cycle, I think adds an extra boost of energy. I'm slightly biased, as you guys know. My podcast is all about astrology, so that's just kind of my jam. But I'm grateful to have you guys on the journey with me in this first round. So I wanted to kind of, as we head into the last couple days here, I wanted for us to, and we can share in the chat, or you can share vocally, or maybe just reflect inwardly. At this juncture, what does reciprocity mean to you? And I say that to kind of say, um, for me, the concept has evolved over time. And I think for me, it means like I'm understanding what unity consciousness means, and I'm learning to weave it into my life in ways that are new. Hi, Vanessa. Good to see you. Um, and I wanted to kind of give us some inspiration from two of the people that I think really embody this. Nelson Mandela. He talks about in Africa, we have a concept known as Ubuntu, based upon the recognition that we are only people because of other people. And I like that a lot. And then the other quote I wanted to share today is from Desmond Tutu. Ubuntu is very difficult to render into a Western language. It is to say, my humanity is caught up, is inextricably bound up in what is yours. And I chose this second quote because he's pointing at the Western world, being like, you guys might not know what this is. And so that was when I was thinking about like this idea of, you read a book again that you put down, and 2 years later you pick it up and you're different, and the material's different, right? So even over the course of a lunar cycle, I kind of wanted us to maybe start to think for ourselves, like, how has this experience expanded you or changed you, or even, I think that this is the baseline version of what we're going to be doing. And thank you guys for being here as I'm putting the wheel together, right, for what we're going to be able to do. But I wanted for us to spend a moment before we kind of jump into a practice to, with the background lens of the theme being reciprocity, together for this 28 days, co-creating this, seeding it again and again. Even if we're doing one-on-one things in our daily life, we don't post it here, but even by spending a little bit of time when we can, putting some energy into this piggy bank. I wanted us to reflect on if there were any themes or experiences that stuck out for you, because we're each, individual thumbprints experiencing this, and maybe we can share, or maybe not. Yeah, I want to invite us to share, but I also want us to, as we share, think about like what were the themes that you experienced, and what might be possible for the future, and also what's already sprouting. So I'll start, and maybe this is an overly complicated share, but for me, it was a really cool experience to have such a, kind of like this global community, mostly based in the US, but there are people from other continents here. And to witness that we could keep holding this vessel and this theme and keep interacting with it. And I found this was my first experience. I was telling my business coach, I have an Instagram coach because I need somebody to hold my hand to get back into social media. But I was telling him that I loved this. I loved coming here and I loved sharing with you guys. And there was never a moment where I was like, oh gosh, I got to get online. I really, one of the themes was for me was community and just being able to share with like-minded people. And the idea of reciprocity for me is a very obviously future vision because we're attempting to ground it down. And I think in terms of what I'm grateful for, we're each a seed that's sprouting, like we're each contributing. This is a really cool experience. It's a wonderful community. It's just getting started. So yeah, I'm going to stop my share or see if anybody else for the moment has anything that they would like to share about your experience thus far, or even this week.
Sure, I'll go. Hi, Lisa. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Al.
Um, yeah, it's been transcendental for me. It's one of the most powerful things I've experienced. So thank you so much. Thank you, and thank Eve who is in the call too. Like she got me here, and I've been doing some meditation with her too. And so yeah, and I can recall like two or three experiences that have been extremely powerful. Um, well, one of them was the concept of like connecting with our higher selves in other dimensions. That concept is like mind blowing, and the way you explained it, and all the scientific foundations of it is it's amazing. I believe in it, because I feel it. That's my proof. I feel it. Um, and then incorporating the elements in meditation has been very powerful because every time you brought up like fire or water, that's when I had the most powerful moments, and connected with like other dimensions. I was totally in another dimension, and downloads came down, and so that was just amazing. Um, I really feel that I'm really grateful for that, and then that connection we made that day with the tree, and I have a new relationship with the tree that's outside of my window. I love that tree so much, and it's like almost like a new friendship that I have with that tree. And then I connected, with the lights, with the light. Remember, the light came down through the tree, and then it connected with me, and then we started spreading that light. So it was just like unbelievable. And the way you framed the kind of like the light coming in as the food of the tree, and then in the meditation, it became like the food for the light that the world and the universe needs, like the goodness light that we're spreading, and the trees like getting that and providing life, using that light, and creating life, and then that life becomes transcendental with goodness. And then finally, the ETF practice has been amazing. So the reciprocity, sorry, it's like, so I started connecting with people in different ways, not only with y'all, but like with other people. I bring this topic in the conversations about the higher selves. Everyone's like, wow. I've sent your link to like 5 or 6 people that really, the ones that were more like, wow, boom, I send it to them. So I think, there's going to be a growth of the seeds, and we're sprouting, and then we're like pollinating with others. And it's part of the way I explain things, especially things that are like challenging, and things like regeneration. This is like so connected to regeneration, and because it's like we're regenerating the soul, and then from there regenerating the world. So yesterday I was with some friends, and it was just like a social type thing, But then the conversations, like it was just like fun, good times. But then the conversation went into like some of these dark things, and it reminded me the darkness and the light in the world. And then the kind of like the energy kind of like you could feel like our energy kind of like went down
Mhm.
because we were talking about this like crime and things like that. And then it was like it came to my mind like shift. We need to shift. And I turn on the ETF from like yesterday with my friends, and we were in the middle of a tea shop, like doing like with our meridians, like we were just like, I mean, it was like kind of
Oh,
like it's a really cool coffee shop, tea shop because it had like nature around us and it was kind of like secluded, the area where we were in, but we would still done it even if it was in the middle of the tables or whatever. So we started doing it, and it was the first time I did it with people present, and and all day I was like amazed with this like huge vine, like a morning glory vine that like grew like in the whole wall of the next door building. And I was like totally like tripping on that vine. And it's related to the work that I do. And 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 I think the vine was vibing with us too. Because once we went like on the 8th minute, like I started feeling like the energy coming from the vine and between me and the friends, it was like it was incredible. Like I felt the energy, like we were interconnected with that energy. And then we wake up and everyone's like big smiles, everyone's like wow, wow, I do feel great, and it was just like a blast. Like what an amazing time we had. um and it was just like having tea and talking and meditating, nothing else, you know
oh,
so
I love all this so much. That's so cool. That's
yeah,
so cool.
so thank you so much. It's definitely taken me to another. I feel like it's like another level, and then I can bring that to others.
Yeah, I think I love to hear you say every single thing you said, and it reminds me this morning I had an experience with a bird, and like I've become more sensitive to nature. I've always kind of seen everything as having, energy, and but this bird like, and it was a black and white bird, and it just followed me around, and it sat outside the yurt window. Wherever I would go in the yurt, the bird would come and sit on a little post, and then I walked outside and it comes right to me, and I was like, wow, like this bird is like, and I think about how intelligent and how nourishing nature is, right? And how we truly do have everything we need. We just are needing to figure out how to interact with things respectfully and properly, right? So
Yeah,
thank you for sharing. Go ahead.
it's funny you brought up the birds because we one of the dark topics. I mean, like one of these things was like what Bill Gates is doing. Like, what is he doing? Like, did you hear about like the seeding in the like one of my friends said like he's seeding the maybe they're seeding the skies to make it darker so that there's like less climate change or something, like some bad solution, right? Bad idea, like darkening the sky. And then right after that, all of a sudden, like when after the topic came back, and it was funny because we did a little comedy too, like Bill Gates does not control me. Bill Gates. And then but then all of a sudden after the ETF, the birds, like we saw the chemtrails, and then it was like so many birds flying over us.
Um,
It's like what? Yeah, it was so cool.
yeah, well, if you think about, we think about like no one knows how the birds migrate and how the monarchs get from Canada to Mexico. Well, maybe they read energy lines. Duh, right? I mean, I've had that experience up here where we've done
Wow.
like there's
Wow.
there's a goddess spiral out there, and it's about 30 feet in diameter, and we've done a couple crystal singing bowls ceremonies, and at the end of it, looked up and there's like 200 turkey vultures just swirling above. So I totally and I really, I said jokingly to, I think I said this to Eve. I said, I'm doing this because I need a new hobby right now. Like I want a hobby. I want something that I can do that is like just good,
Yeah.
just in this
Leisure.
container and with this focus. And I have to say, like, when I teach classes, I love it, but there's a little bit of a moment of like, am I going to keep my act together? Am I going to get it all done? Like, I never had that experience with this iteration. And I think for me, it was because it was a different format. You know what I mean? Like we're all doing this together and we're all kind of co-creating it. That's the nature of the age of Aquarius, right? Like we're all in a circle. And so I just think that it's so great to hear that the magic is present. That's really great.
Thank you. Yes.
Anybody else have anything they want to share?
I can share, Lisa. It's been a while. Hi all.
Hi.
Um, Hi. So yeah, I have been sort of on the outskirts. Things have been a bit busy in my world, but I have stayed in circle with you all and practicing it in sort of this phase that I'm in right now with work and so forth, and sort of seeing this duality of the space I've been in for a long time and then going back to that climate um, has been quite like a stark difference, and realizing that, wow, it was really nice just being surrounded by all of the things that I love every day and the people, the like-mindedness, and then being thrown into sort of like this vortex where it's still operating in this way, right? That fear, that negativity, and then being put in a position where I'm being told to uplift the environment, and realizing that, oh my goodness, this is you know, this feels kind of too much to handle, almost, right? Almost like they're doomed. It's sort of that doomsday type of thing, right? Like one of those moments. And so I had been traveling. I was out in Florida just last week for work, and I was in a conference, and it was like two different spaces. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but I work in the biotech pharmaceutical industry, and while the meeting I was attending was going on, there was actually another conference happening called Reimagining Health, while I was talking about pharmaceuticals. So it was like, wow, the two conferences going on door to door right next to each other that sort of have a different, very different vision of like how you approach health. And I saw myself wanting to obviously be part of the Reimagine Health Summit, right? It's like I actually subscribe to what they're saying. And but why am I here again? So sort of feeling that tug of war of like, okay, and having opportunity because of my position to sort of spread wisdom and be in that position of sort of send share enlightenment and bringing this back, this whole reciprocity thing, but also experiencing the rejection from that side, like the stark rejection from receiving this information, yet still yearning for it. So I saw myself in this really weird dynamic where it was like, we want you to help us. But then when you shared the wisdom, it's sort of like, don't you dare help us. And it's like, holy crap. So this opened up another layer to me where I was like, but it was also kind of nice just to be able to step out and see all these like wellness people. So I know I'm not crazy. So it's like the universe put me in the right place at the right time. So I was like, they're doing energy medicine outside right now. Like there are thousands of people who paid tickets to do energy medicine. Joe Dispenza is here right now. All of these people who have research are here. I didn't time this. We're having this conference. So it was just this really interesting place. And I thought about you, Lisa, and I was just like, of course, Lisa's like my guardian angel in like the physical realm too, as well. Where I'm like, so I see her name like pop up in an email, and I'm like, oh, oh my God, this is a new layer of like something I've discovered that, the collective needs like I don't know how you even approach this thing, but it felt good knowing that there are pockets of people in this community exist where we can hold this type of circle. We can sort of regenerate ourselves to be able to, like what Al was saying about that regeneration, like uh, what we're doing here is so powerful. It's even beyond, it's hard for me to even explain what I'm even trying to say, and hopefully it makes sense. But
I get it.
ultimately, yeah, it's like I'm so happy I'm part of something that's so much bigger than, even though it's just like the few of us here, but it's like, it's so powerful what we're doing. And people who are putting out these seeds, right? What, you know, that we are, what we're doing, we need this community to exist and to keep spreading it in these ways, even when we face the rejection or face the sort of confusion or manipulation that might come, you know, as a result of spreading this light. So I'll pause there, but yeah, that was sort of my experience with this recipe. I'm grateful to be in this position of sharing. I've been doing it for a long time, but this was the first time I'm actually experiencing it where it was like, I want it from you, but I also don't want it from you. And how do you sort of manage that and you know, sort of recollect and regenerate and still keep showing up? Because you do want to keep pouring in this light. You see that they want the light, they're hungry for it, but almost like it can also turn into the an opposite effect, or sort of like a negative uh effect when you are sharing. But anyway,
Oh, I love
yeah.
this so much. You're reminding me, this weaves back into Al's theme, and it reminds me of something that happened to me this week. But I think to the idea that this is a sacred container of space that is, you know, I haven't put up the community guidelines yet because I figured we're a small enough, whoops, uh, group here, but I imagine it's gonna grow and become something, but to have a space to come where you can fill your cup and you can share the light. And it's funny because I remember, like, even when I lived in the Bay Area forever, I was always like, Mark Zuckerberg's brother lived 2 doors down, and I was always like, Spirit, like, what precisely, why am I on this street? Like, why am I here? I'm supposed to be up in the woods, like doing this, you know. But for 5 years I had to like wait, and Spirit kept saying, like, right place, right time, trust it, right? And now it's so funny, I find myself here and I'm having conversations with my neighbors that are, on the surface you would think, quite challenging, but actually they're thanking me for these conversations that I would never have sought out. I never would have been like knocking on anybody's door. But then also, I, you know, if you're going to talk to me about something, I'm going to speak my truth in a compassionate way. And if anything, because also I was kind of like, why am I up here at this time? This is a really challenging space to be in. With the current political climate, I will just say that. Not challenging for me in particular because I happen to have white skin, but it's still a challenging space. Um, but they were thanking me. They were like, a couple different people just said, you know what? Like, thank you for the conversation. No one's ever talked to me about this topic like that before. And I respect you. And I think I see what you mean. And I was like, whoa, okay. You know, so I think about that. Like, so we've all kind of, we're alive in this world that is going through a massive metamorphosis transformation. It's palpable, right? And we're seeking to do the seeding of a reciprocity. But the idea that, yeah, of course, this is the safe space to come and to refuel and refocus and find inspiration and collaborate. And then, you know, even like having a safe space to contribute. I'm grateful to be on the Stanford Alumni Sustainability Board of Directors. Why they suggested me, and I got the job. I told them outright, I was like, look, I don't have any corporate connections to sustainability. But they were like, oh, but you can be. Anyway, I'm in my first board meeting and we're talking to some bigwig in Stanford, and I literally felt like she wanted me to help her. And then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, like, because I'm a social scientist, anthropology, sociology, psychology. I like all the data points. So we're talking about this data thing, right? And she just was like, I felt the energy. I was literally like, I had to like do something on Zoom to kind of, like, if you've had sessions with me, there's things that I share with you that I do to kind of contain my energy and step back. But I could tell, like what you were saying, wanted the help, didn't want the help. And then I just thought, wow, should I resign? And I sat there for 24 hours and I was like, no, just do the best you can. And if it's meant to be, they have you in this position. Somebody wanted me here for some reason, even though, you know, I'm like, all right, guys, but I live in a yurt in the woods. I didn't do the thing that I was supposed to do. But then they're like, yeah, that's why you're so interesting and you're so unique. And so I was this outlier, but also I think that we're all maybe feeling a little bit like that too, depending on the places that we go, as we're seeking to be the healer or be this, see the change, be the light, give the light. And I'll just close with what you guys both have said. The vision that I kept thinking about with this reciprocity challenge was something that one of my shamanic teachers talked about years ago. You know, he says, like, you're going through the jungle and you're carving a path with a machete. and you're carving this path, and you're gonna have to carve it wider and wider. There will be people who are coming after you. You're one of the people that is, and I feel like that's kind of all of us here now who are interacting with this information, is like we're kind of like together carving, like widening the road a little bit, and so that there can be other people that we can support. And I remember really feeling palpably with the energies from the planets that we're in and we're not going to be done with for at least until January or February and until 2026. It's like, wow, like I've said a long time, like there's, humanity is awakening or it's not. And the types of changes that people might have to go through in order to awaken might be very difficult for some people. And it's not a judgment space. I think we all in humility know our own path and know our own human spaces and know those times where we felt broken and we felt like that, and you move through those spaces. And when like karma is a thing in some sense. If you can flow with the energy and work with it, then it's not, it's pretty easy to be in this time that we're in. And I feel like this space, this circle for me just helps me be joyful and excited and empowered, and not like I'm gonna go crawl under a rug and I'll come out in a month. Like part of me, like that's kind of the way I think I've handled sometimes things in the past. I'm like, I'm just not going to watch it. I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'm not going to talk about it. No, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, trying to do something a little different here, So I love that both of you, what you shared, like is resonating with the little images that I was having when I was like, okay, we're going to do this. So thank you guys.
Yes, thank you. And I have been doing the EFT. So that's been totally helping me definitely spend 5 days with people like that, back to back every day. I'm like morning to night. I'm like, holy cow, very much like what you said. You feel the energy. It's like they want me, but they don't want me. What is going on here? Should I leave? Should I not leave? So it was just like it was very confusing, but it's like I'm seeding the things and I'm dropping these tidbits and they want to know more about what do I do? And I'm sharing it and it's like, how dare you share it? It's like, oh my God, not that, but that's exactly the energy that I was sensing, sort of like you could see them sort of like changing, right? Sort of going in and out of different versions of themselves. But yeah, it was really very interesting, but I'm very grateful for all of you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have anything you want to share before we keep going?
I just, first of all, this is Dodie, and I apologize. Can't get my video going, but that's the way the last 2 weeks have gone in my life. We've been, as I've said to Lisa, I've been very sick the last 2 weeks, and we're just starting to get better, I think, over here. And I guess my biggest thing was not being able to really keep up on the day to day. But I realized this morning as I got into and watched the other gatherings that you all had, um, that the circle is the circle, right? We talk about that time is not linear, that it's, that that we are holding space in the circle. And I felt that. So, and I love the fact that I can go in and see what you all are commenting on and be a part of it, even though I was kind of like in and out of consciousness, so to speak. So, thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you both for taking part. I remember when I first started doing my podcast, and the theme, I mean, you guys know I have a theme, and it's like we're all little nodes of light around the world, meditating, creating this, and we're going to do a meditation like that because that's my jam. But then also like I love technology. I love that this technology is like, well, how about you guys have your own little actual space in the 3D world, and you don't have to just meditate about it and imagine it. How about if you guys actually like say hi? You know what I mean? Like, I think for me, like this experience has been like a strange kind of a culmination of part of my life's work, if that makes sense, because it's kind of like this thing that I've been sensing, and to have this sacred space be so special. And I was sitting with my ego and I'm like, I wanted 200 people in the first one. And then I'm like, okay, hang tight. Like, who do you think you are? You're not that important. You know what I mean? Like, and also, I love the times when I step back and realize, no, it's perfect right now because I'm not ready for 200 people in today's gathering. Like, I need a gathering like this one right now. That's where we're at. This is the foundational layer, right? This is the kind of like, and I think about, you know, community guidelines and seeding the energy. Like it's the this is the energy that we're all collectively seeding that I think will make the thing be as exponential and beautiful as it can and will continue to be. So I'm really grateful to you guys for being here. It's been great. Eve, do you have anything you want to say? You want to pass?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you as well. As always, Lisa, thank you for your amazing offerings. Thank you for holding the space. Thank you for the powerful transmissions. It's really wonderful to be here in Circle. I've also been struggling for the past month or so. And yeah, it's just great to be here. And thank you. Thank you so much, Al, for joining and for being so enthusiastic when I shared this offering with you. So it's amazing to just see these connections forming. And yeah, and thank you, Lisa, as always. You're the best.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I think about there was a few really special people that didn't even when we're talking about people coming online and like you guys are so special for being here with me and there was a few people who I think we were all here in spirit. There was a few people who like just were like traveling and like didn't want to start in the middle or something and I think about how neat it is to have so many wonderful people to gather together. So thank you guys. I'm gonna share again, and I want to get to a meditation now because I think we're all kind of in a nice let's see. Um, so the heart alchemy practice that we've been doing, I want to invite us to practice this together. And I was looking back through my heart alchemy course materials and I found an MP3 that I kind of want to see if you, but I don't know if the music's going to come through. So can I play for you like 10 seconds and then just stop it and have you give me feedback to see if because this is going to be my first time trying to do this. So I just want to like play 4 or 5 seconds and have you guys say like, yes, this works or no, just do it yourself. So just give me, um, 1 second to see if this will. This is a meditation, a practice to support you in sending the energies of heart. Can you hear that? Or does it sound weird with the music?
There's no music playing, but I can definitely hear the voice of the.
But do you want it? Would you rather hear me now? Yeah, I think that's the case. Okay, we're going to do this together. Okay. So let's do this. This is kind of for the reciprocity challenge. I think this is a fun, almost like culminating practice for us to do as a group. We've been doing heart alchemy together for almost 4 weeks now. So this is going to be a little extra version of it. And so let's go ahead and close our eyes and come into your body, come into this moment. And as you close your eyes, just feel that your spine is straight. Feel maybe that take a moment to relax any area where you might be holding tension. If you prefer to lay down, you can do that. And coming into your body, but also coming into this circle, coming into all of us who are gathered together today, live, and to everybody who's going to be gathered together across time and space later on, that we can imagine in some astral version of ourselves, we are seated in circle together. We are seated together, cultivating and creating and seeding sacred space and reciprocity. So let's go ahead and find the breath and begin to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in the heart alchemy practice, I encourage you to count to 5 on both sides of that, but just make it be easy. Breathing in a little more depth, a little more time, and breathing out. And since we've been doing this together for some time now, maybe also notice if it's a little bit easier for you to just drop in. Like this space, it's like riding a bike. The more we do it, the more we can just come into that space. So keeping with the inhale for 5 and the exhale for 5, I invite you to bring your awareness to your heart center and begin to practice heart breathing. You might put your fingertips on your heart if that's helpful. But imagine that you're not just breathing in and out air through your physical body, but you're taking energy in all the time, which is the case. Science now documents our heart is always inhaling and exhaling, so to speak. So imagine you're from the front of you and the back of you, you're taking air in, taking energy in on the inhale, and you're sending it out on the exhale. And as you're focusing on your heart, imagine it as a flame or a golden orb of light. And this light is you. This is you. If you believe in reincarnation, this is the you that's been in all these iterations of you. This is the you that is above and beyond this physical world. This is the essence of you. And so you're taking energy and air in, and you're sending energy and air out. And I invite you now to choose a high vibrational emotion that you would like to seed globally during this meditation together. Maybe it's one of the themes we were talking about: unity, reciprocity, community, love, interconnection. Maybe it's not even got a word. Maybe it's just part of this welling of this experience, of this gratitude for being here together. So start to imagine that you're cultivating this vibrational signature by choosing your emotion, choosing what you're focusing on, and now you're sending it out. You're still inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. But now your heart is taking in the energy that's all around you, all the wonderful natural love and light. And if there's anything heavy that's needing some help, maybe that comes into your heart, and instantly that light of your heart is transforming it and sending it out. So we've done this. And we're going to stay here with this space, but I'm going to invite you to next connect to Mother Earth, to Gaia. And the easiest way first is just to go send your energetic roots right down through concrete or whatever building you're in. Go down and put some roots down into her soil right now. Say hello as you're breathing in and breathing out, and as you're using your heart to cultivate this vibration of gratitude or reciprocity. And notice how, with your roots in the earth, how she knows you. And you can imagine that she also receives this energy that you're sending. And also imagine that she has her own beautiful energetic signature that is her soul. And she's sending that to you. So this version of reciprocity, this version of heart alchemy, is going to be something that's both heart alchemy, but we're going to start to kind of imagine and connect with Gaia herself as this sentient consciousness. And we can imagine now that as we send our awareness around the globe, I want us to send our awareness around the globe, stay beneath the surface, and imagine that there's crystal grids beneath the surface. We talk about the chakras of the earth and the ley lines and the crystalline patterns that are beneath certain places. But you can imagine, notice what comes to mind when you think about subterranean lines of energy, and that potentially crystals have the power. We know quartz is used in all sorts of microcomputer stuff, right? Like they have such an ability to transmit energy. So these grids, we're just going to keep breathing through our heart. These grids came online according to the Mayan and Aztec calendar a little bit ago, which is part of seeding the massive transformation that we're all feeling. But we're going to connect to those right now with our heart light. So we're in this circle, we're connected together, and now we're going to send our consciousness to the crystal grids that are around the earth. And imagine that you're sending now from your heart, taking in any energy as you exhale, you're sending it out in all directions, but especially down beneath the earth. And the light from your heart, the energy that you're sending, if you think about beyond linear time and space and this supercomputer version of a quartz crystal, how all of that can magically send this energy and magnify the energy. This is where 1 + 1 = 10 or 1,000. This is where we get to be agents and seeds of change. So I'm going to invite us to stay here for a little bit in this unique variation of this meditation, still doing what we know how to do, heart breathing, offering a vibration from our heart to the world at large, but also offering it to Earth, into the grids or any ley lines or any energetic conduits around the Earth that are ready and open to receive light and love and to magnify it and to send it everywhere all at once. And feel both how powerful you are and also how graceful and how humble and how beautiful this act of giving, because this is, we are connected. We're showing that we believe that we are connected. So we're going to spend just a few more, maybe 2 more minutes here, just breathing. Heart breathing and sending that light out, and now beginning to open to this understanding that this is one way that our light goes around the world, especially if we invoke it, but potentially all the time, all the places anyhow. And as we say in energy healing, you know, the energy will go precisely where it's needed the most. Maybe it's right next door, maybe it's on the other side of the globe, maybe it's around the corner, but just keep sending that light into the grids beneath the soil. And then I want to invite us to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to invite us to start to consider coming back to this circle, but in the idea of multidimensionality or being able to do multiple things at once. Maybe I invite you to consider that a part of yourself, whatever's optimal for you, your soul can decide, can stay in that practice, can stay in that experience, can stay in that potentially, if it resonates, new way of visualizing how you impact the world. And then we're just going to slowly take our time, open your eyes, come back together. And I want to share a quote next. The slides are not quite in order, but this quote came to me. And one of the things I think that it's so needed on this planet right now, no one's ever become poor by giving. There's never been a moment where me personally has done anything where I'm like, oh man, shouldn't have helped that person. Nah. So I think there's kind of like a paradigm shift that we're living through. The walls are coming down, the fear is coming down, the illusion of separation is coming down, unity consciousness is coming online. We're seeing this around the world. We're seeing all sorts of things happening right now, right? But the idea that no one's ever become poor by giving, and Desmond Tutu and Nelson Mandela know that. So where do we go next? We have 2 more days of this challenge together, and that the community is going to live on ad infinitum. I would like to invite us to take some time to kind of rest, reflect, repeat, and expand. And I'm going to be inviting you guys to shoot me an email, or I'll give you a link if you want to have a quick. I would like right now at this point in this community to have feedback, because I think the community feedback, like really knowing like what inspired you, what worked for you, what can we be doing more of, what was really easy to interact with. This is the first time I'm using this platform as well, so I'm thinking about it from like a kind of an engineer perspective too, right? If we're going to be building this and like really wanting to bring people behind us, like what feedback do you have for me? And we've already gotten a lot of that today. Thank you so much. And also I would like to, if you're inspired to co-create something at some point in the future, I'm going to do we're going to do reciprocity challenge again, but we're also going to do a different kind of a meditative activity. The reciprocity challenge, I was kind of like 5 different things every week that we were doing healing modality wise. And then I want to do another challenge where we're just doing one thing. We're just doing one thing for a certain period of time with different themes, but it can be like one type of practice. It's a daily wake up routine that I've found has really been transformational for me. So there's going to be other ways for us to continue this space. But also, I was talking to a couple of the people that couldn't be here today. My girlfriend Shannon, who's a manifestation pro, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll talk with you about manifestation sometime. I'd be glad to do that. That'd be cool," or whatever. Like if there's a theme that you're interested in that you would like to bring to this platform, or you would like me and you to chat about, like let me know, because this is a community. This isn't just the Lisa Haley show, right? So that's where we're headed. And so ways that you can support, give me some feedback, however way you want to. If you have any topics you think are good that you want to do or you want to see me do, let me know. We also have a lunar cycle community that meets every new moon and every full moon. You can find that when you go into Circle, the top part of that thing is free. And then all those other little nuanced things, all those courses, all that stuff below there, it's all under one like $33 a month thing. And then we have those meetings. That's just for you guys to know. But I think what I'd really like to say, and I will pop this link into. I don't think I'm going to do. I might do it later on here, but I would like to invite you to kind of, if you have 20 minutes of your time that you would like to share with me, that'd be fantastic. If you don't, and you just want to like put a couple bullet points in an email, that would be fantastic too. If there's anything that comes to mind. So with that, I'm going to stop my share. And thank you guys for being here. And I wonder how the meditation was for you, because I kind of shifted gears a little bit quickly there. Yay. Thumbs up. I do not know how to do what you got. Like somebody said, "Oh yeah, just throw a high." I was like, "I know. I've seen people do that in my." Oh, look at, and Al knows how to do it too. Okay, and you guys also know how to do hearts. Okay, well maybe I'll learn that by next time. The thing I really like about the crystal grid meditation, I mean, you kind of have to be, into Mount Shasta and things like that, and like want to believe that there's crystal grids beneath the surface of the earth. If that's too far gone, like that's fine. Like, but I love when I'm thinking about like, how can my rational mind really understand beyond linear time and space? And I was like, oh, crystal grids, duh. I mean, crystals are magical, intelligent things. So I love that meditation for that reason. And yeah. And Vanessa says, I love the crystal grid meditation. Okay. Cool. I think we're good and closing, approaching time. I'm gonna attempt to put the link to this if you want to chat and follow up with me. I'm gonna put that there, but I will also put it in the 28-day challenge right below this video. So if you want to go back there and find it. And yeah, I love you guys and thank you so much. And then I would also like, the part of the feedback last thing is that I see that we're going to do the 28-day challenge again before the end of the year. And then we're probably going to do the other thing. Like I see something happening at the end of the year. And I also see something happening. The third one's going to be and then at the new year, because those energetically to me feel like two different bubbles of space. So I'm not quite sure if, I don't know that we're going to reload like at the next new moon, but I'm trying to feel into when to do it, but you'll hear from me. But I think we're, like I said, like I feel the need to kind of rest for a second, get the feedback, and then move in a non-rushed fashion, because that's my healing. So okay, thanks everyone. Gail and Dodie say, yeah. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Eve. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Gail and Dodie, for being here live in person. And thank you to the other 20-some people that have been participating as they can. I'm grateful for you guys. Have a blessed day. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon.